Here are some techniques on how to solve inequalities. Okay, that is unlike your secondary school. So for A, I have x squared is smaller than 4x cubed. Always bring it to one side. So I will have 4x cubed minus 4 minus x squared. The worst thing you can do is go and divide by x squared. Never divide away a variable because you will have some values that's missing. Okay, now you factorize it, I will have x squared 4x minus 1. Okay, so on your number line, you know that the roots are 0 as well as 1 over 4. All you need to do is to sub in a value of 1. So when x is equals to 1, you don't even need to know the value. All you need to know whether is it positive or negative. When x is equals to 1, I know that this is going to be positive. Okay, then how about if x is equals to now a number between 0 and 1/4, maybe 0.2. Okay, so you have 0.2 square, and 0 point that this will be positive, this will give you positive, 0.2, but this will give you negative, so this part will be negative. Then when you put in a value that is lesser than 0, so maybe when you inside your brain you think of when x is equals to negative 1, and I put in negative 1, I will have x squared, which will give me positive 4 times negative 1, and that's negative, and this part will be negative as well. So for the first part, because I want that the equation to be greater than 0, my answer is only x greater equals to 1 over 4. Okay, for part B, the working will be a lot longer. Okay, so the thing about inequality in JC is you cannot cross multiply if you don't know that it is a positive value. Okay, unless you know that it's a positive value. So in this case, never ever multiply the denominator upwards. Okay, and you can only multiply the x plus 2 square as well as x minus 1 square, which is the common method, when one side is equals to 0. Okay, so the method would be we have to bring the x over 8 over x plus 2 x minus 1 minus x. Okay, so I'm going to make common denominator x square plus x minus 2 x plus 2 x minus 1. Okay, there will be quite a long working over here, so this will be x cubed minus x squared plus 2x over x plus 2 or x minus 1. Okay, I will definitely make the numerator to be a positive x cubed. So I'll multiply by negative 1 and multiply by negative 1 here. But if I multiply by negative 1 on both sides, right, then my inequality sign have to change, because this is the basics of inequality that you have to know. When you multiply by negative 1, the operations have to change. I'm going to have x cubed plus x squared minus 2x minus 8, and you will have x plus 2 x minus 1. Okay, so you can use your GC to find the first root. How do I use my GC to find the first root? Okay, I go to my apps and I go to my polynomial solver. That would be number 1. Okay, I think it's order 3. Okay, and then you press next. So I have x cubed plus x squared minus 2x minus 8 equals 0. Okay, when I press this, I will only have one solution. But however, because this is cubic, right, which means that the other solution cannot be factorized nicely. Okay, so I think it's x minus 2 because it's x equals to 2. So I can use inspection to understand how I can get the other quadratic factor. So I know that this is x squared because x times x is going to give you x cubed. So that's the first one. Okay, as well as I know that my last number is negative 8, right? So I know my constant here is plus 4 because this times this must give me negative 8. Okay, I don't know what is in the middle. All I need to do is to let x, in my brain, I let x equals to 0. Okay, I will have, okay, I cannot let x equals to 0 because uh, I let x equals to, in my brain I let x equals to 1, so my left side will be 1 plus what, negative 8. Okay, equals to, so this side will be negative 8. Now I put it in. I know that there is a plus ax, plus, or rather plus bx over here. I do not know what is the b. So I put 1 inside, so I will have 1 minus 2, okay, and then 1 plus b plus 4. Okay, so I will have negative 8 is equals to negative b plus 5. Okay, so b is equals to 3. All right, yeah, so this is what you substitute inside in your head. Okay, so I know that this is going to be 8. Okay, if you are still confused about this method, okay, it's called the inspection method, whereby I know that from the first coefficient of x cubed as well as the constant, I can make out x squared and 4, because of x squared times x must give you x cubed, negative 2 times 4 must give you negative 8. Okay, I don't know what is in the middle, so I let it be bx, and I just substitute a value of x equals to 1 in this case into this equation as well as this whole equation, because they are all the same, and I can find out what is b, and then I'll just write it down. Okay, so this is called your inspection method. Now back to this part, as well as another, you need another concept, which is now over here. You have to check, look at him, okay, and let's do the discriminant for him. So the b squared minus 4ac of this quadratic equation is 8 squared minus 4ac, okay, and this will give me 64, yeah, minus 16 times 8, okay, which is going to give you less than 0. So if this guy is less than 0, okay, it means that he has no real roots. It also means that it's also a u shape because it's x squared. If he has no real roots, any quadratic with no real roots, right, this is always positive. Yeah, so that's why in secondary school, when the question asks when is the quadratic always positive, we say discriminant is less than 0, and this is a trick concept that students cannot no. So I know that this yellow portion is already positive. So I can ignore this yellow portion because my whole fraction is positive. I already know that this is positive, so I don't need to care about him. He does not affect what's happening to my equation because the whole equation has to be positive. So now I can flow down by saying that, okay, my x minus 2, x plus 2, x minus 1 must be greater than 0. Okay, sorry, before we go to here, it looks like this now. Or x plus 2 and x minus 1 must be greater than 0. So this is where you multiply by x plus 2 square on both sides, as well as x minus 1 square on both sides, because a square number is always positive. So when you multiply by a positive in the inequality, it will not affect the inequality sign. Okay, x plus 2 as well as x minus 1. All right, then now we can draw the number line. Okay, I know that my roots are negative 2, 1, and 2. However, always look back at your original equation. So I look at here, in this case, 2 and x cannot be 2 as well as negative 2 and 1, because it will make the denominator to be 0, and hence, okay, no solution. So I have to put a circle first. I cannot include 2 and 1. Okay, so now in my mind, I let x equals to 3. Okay, so when I let x equals to 3, this is positive, this is positive, as well as this is positive. So this is a plus here. When I let x equals to, now between 1 and 2, that will be 1.5. So if you put it into your 3 brackets, you don't need to know the values. Of course, if you can key into a calculator to find out the values, but all you need to know is what kind of sign it will give you. So the first one is going to give you negative, negative, positive, as well as positive. That will make it negative. Yes, you sub in another value inside here, and then you will actually get positive. You sub in another value inside here, you will get negative. Okay, as long as there are no values of x that will disrupt your whole equation, you will know this, or usually plus minus plus minus. Okay, I want greater than 0, circle here. And therefore, my range is x is in between, okay, strictly because I cannot be -2, greater than -2, smaller than 1, or, okay, or means union, and I must put this in a set notation, or x greater or equals to 2, and that would be my solution for an inequalities question like this. With cubic factorization, with always positive concept.